Hello, everyone. Spirit of 420 here because everything I do is so 420, just like the fact that I have been live in my mind and apparently not actually live for like the last 10 minutes, which means everything I said just went, which is fine. So I'll try to repeat it, but it's always, it's going to come out new and fresh and different with you anyway. Maybe that's for the better. Maybe I was being really fucking depressing. So this used to be nameless, or no name, excuse me. No name was the name of this bowl. But in lieu of my son, who is no longer with me, or at least one of them, I lost one, and we're going to talk about that. Obviously, I'm going to talk about that a lot. What are you going to do? I have to get it out. But this is now Limitless. Skylar's nickname was Lord of the Limitless. So this is Limitless. Here's to you, Sky. So moving right along, what had just happened is typical of what's been going on. I feel like I'm in... and let me just go ahead and say this. First of all, I'm getting it off my chest. I am not on my pity pot. I don't like that. I have spent plenty of time in my life prior to where I am now. How do you say? What's the word? I can't think of what I'm trying to say, but bottom line is, I can't stand sitting on pity pot, and I'm not sitting on pity pot. I'm sharing what's going on because it's felt like a downward spiral, but I know that it's the onslaught of a better day. Okay. So let me start off by saying that. And I can't read this. Well, thank you so much. That's so funny. And I put this on. It doesn't matter. You tell something do not disturb, and it still disturbs you. That's just typical of computers today. Anywho, as you can see, Sky will now be with me. I think it's appropriate. I miss him, and I personally am going to find a way to immortalize him with everything that I do. Now, some of y'all say, well, what about your boys? They love it because everything I did before was about them. Now, Spirit of 420 had remained anonymous in a sense of them. Part of that was Skylar's wishes, right? The other twin wasn't nearly as, didn't really care, but I'm still not going to, I didn't mean to flip y'all off, excuse me. I'm still not going to mention his name because I believe that, as long as I can keep them out of the limelight, which is not a whole lot of limelight for me anyway. But as long as I can keep them out, to me, that's good. So it's when you deal with this kind of loss, you can't describe how it's going to change your everyday. Right now I'm sleeping horribly. I'm either having nightmares or waking up to the realization again. And I don't know how long that's going to last, but I know that sucks ass, because then when I don't sleep well, I don't get enough sleep, then my body aches, and that just means I got to do more smoking, more drinking kratom, more eating edibles, which I don't really have a problem with. This is screened. Its name is simple because there is a built-in. I always love this one, just a built-in glass screen in the bowl, so you don't have to worry about it. It does get a little more Scooby snacks than the average bowl that I use these honeycombs in, but it's okay. I'm okay with it. I'll move on, One thing that I'd said, and I'll just repeat it. So, I was giving folks a little bit of context, or I was giving y'all a little bit of context as to, hey, Strange Bird, how you doing? How do I say? I started raising the boys solely when they were 11. Up until that, it was split. The first 3.25 years we were together, SOS and I. That's Spawn of Satan. I used to not call her that, but I've gone back to it because she deserves it. She is the strongest C word and the only C word that I say in my life, but I won't do it tonight because I'll probably get age restricted, which is really fine because my videos aren't making any money right now. But the quick and short, first 3.25 years we were together, and that was in the Smokies, Asheville, North Carolina. We broke up. I stayed there for another year, and in the midst of doing that, I ended up getting my insurance license, life and health, and it was just a better opportunity to be down in Tampa Bay area, down in Florida. So I did move a year later, and thought I was going to be there forever, and thought I would end up making a lot of money and doing very well. Which, not to say that I didn't. I did pretty well, although the boys needed me more up there than it was easier, let's just say, for me to move back up when they were 9. So almost exactly 5 years later, I moved back up to the mountains, back up to the Smokies, because it just made more sense than going and trying to fight SOS for custody, in the sense of physical custody. We had split custody. It was even, that's the way it was written, documented. Custody was split 50-50, but physical residence was altered due to school. Simply put, they have to be one place or the other for school. And she was a real bitch. Although all these other families around me had been doing the same kind of thing that I proposed, which was every other year them going back and forth, which would pretty much keep them steady. They would have friends at both places in school, but every other year they would go to a different school. That's not unheard of, and it happens quite frequently now, but she wouldn't have it. And everything happens for a reason, folks. She wouldn't have it. I moved up there. By the time, almost exactly 2 years later, I ended up getting custody of them because she dropped them off at my doorstep and said, "Here, you can have them." I can't do it. So from that point on, I was raising them. So when I say I'm extremely close, as a matter of fact, when they were 11, she dumped them off in October of 11, November of 11, their brother, my third, was born. And then April of 14 is when my fourth was born. And then 2018, I ended up getting another one that I didn't even know was going to be mine. That's my adopted one that lives with, well, there was Skylar there, but there was 4 of them. Skylar was one. Now the 3 of them are still there. One of them is also Sky's twin brother. And the other one I pretty much adopted as well. So I have like all these, not all, well, now it is because this guy's passing. I now have this slew of kids. that call me Pops, and some of them will use me, and some of them won't. Some of them will take hold of it. You know, I've had a couple of them tell me a couple things that I know. Even if I don't talk to them, I know that I touch their lives because they're like the things that Sky said to me were so deep and so different than just anybody else. That was why they were affected by it, right? I mean, it is very difficult. And what's really funny, how I say it, I'm still waiting in a way for like it to really kick in. I mean, and what I mean by that is I still feel like I'm going to wake up from a dream. Like this isn't real. It's just so intense that my mind wants to, I can feel my mind wanting to snap, right? It's that fucking hard. And what I mean by that is my mind wants to, and all of a sudden, I'll start talking to Sky, he'll be here, da, da, da. But that's not the reality. That's not how it's going to go down. And I've got to find a way, each minute, hour, day of the year to move forward without him. And I will become much cheerier. I promise. I'll get. There'll be a smile on my face soon enough. It's what he wants. WDS dub. What does Skylar want? I can feel him in my every move. I don't even have. I'm so fucking broke right now, and I'll get into that in a second because that's what makes it hard to stay positive. But I put a little bit of his ashes in this, which is an old. This is from my drug dealing days. He always thought it was the coolest thing, but it's what I used to keep pills and Mary Jane in, and now I keep a little bit of him in there with his keychain attached to it. So I have something, which is better than nothing. But when I say it's been bad, let me just recap October, and then you'll understand why I'm having difficulty in staying positive all the time. It's an up and down. I mean, there's times when I'm just in tears and I feel hopeless. And then there's other times where it's the exact opposite of the fucking spectrum. And I feel, like I know everything is going to be okay without a doubt. Right. So October 3rd, which was 19 days prior, I was fired. And I don't know if y'all remember, but I was quite happy. That did not stop me at all. Let me just say, losing a job, it sucked. And income wise, I knew I was going to be going through a lot, but I made some decisions and quickly got a company up and running and even got an investor. Right now, unfortunately, Sky's death changed all that and changed it in ways that most people could probably figure out. Whether or not, and I mean this wholeheartedly, but there's some people that are just they're going to lose faith. They're going to be like, that dude's going to he's going to implode. He's going to self-destruct because his son died and nobody can handle that shit. Well, that's not true. Many people can handle that. Many people do handle that, right? It is a choice. Everything we do in life, even if you believe everything happens for a reason, you still make the choice to believe that and then do what you believe you need to do, right? And if you believe everything happens for a reason, then you're not going to sit around for very long. There's an appropriate time to mourn loss. There's nothing wrong with that. But you're not going to sit around and mourn it so long that it now prohibits you from moving forward, right? You always got to keep moving forward. Even when you take 5 steps back, that's okay. That just means you're going to take 8 steps forward and you'll be fine. I promise. I know I will come out of this. I don't feel it at times. Funny enough, when I get on the show and start talking and doing my thing, I actually feel a lot better about it, and I know that things are going to slowly improve. As I said, 1 minute, 1 hour, 1 day at a time. By the way, I did want to share this. If you can't see the joy in all of us when I show you this picture, I'll just give you the description. And this is why I went into that little spiel about the timeline and the sense of raising my sons. But in the simplest of terms, we were all extremely excited the day that I got back from Florida, right? So this was 2009, roughly speaking, right around October, right? Like right before Thanksgiving. Look at that. Yeah. Now that is three dudes that are extremely happy to have one another. Those are the twins. Oh, that's when also Spirit was a much fatter. Yeah, I was a lot heavier back then. Had double chin that is a little. It's gone now. This actually hangs permanently and always has been right over there. I just don't think you can. Can you even see that? No, I'm usually standing in front of it. So this is where it typically you can even see the hanger. That's where it goes. But I pulled it down tonight. That's not what she said. I pulled it down. Nah, I guess it could be. I just wanted to show it to you. I wanted to share it to you. Share it with you. It was one of the better days of my life with my son. And what I mean by that is, living in Florida and living in North Carolina, there was always that distance. And even though they weren't living with me full time, I was now literally, 10 minutes away from them. And I saw them every day at school. Oh man, their mother hated this. Every day when they got out of school, I would literally take off of work even. Didn't matter where I was working. They all knew that this is what I was going to do. I would go over there and I would see them and spend 10, 15 minutes hanging out with them and their friends. SOS fucking hated that shit. I mean, like she really hated it. Which, quite frankly, not only did I love seeing my boys, but I did get a kick out of pissing her off. Can't fib about that. So what I did though, because I am trying to stay positive, and y'all know I've talked about this book on several occasions, got some ash on it. It's by Alan Klein, Klein. It's called the Change Your Life quote book. Can you see that? There we go. Oops. There we go. It's over 600 quotes. I just read it. I will usually just pick up, wherever I want, but I was going to just kind of scan here for a minute and see if there was one that you know what, let's go with never give up. Right. So what they do is they put them kind of in themes, if you will. Right. So I just figured to give a couple of these real quick, and that'll give you an idea of where I'm going. And you'll understand. A setback is the opportunity to begin again more intelligently. Which is funny because that actually pertains to the company. And I got this today. So I have this. I really think a lot of folks should get these. There's these different apps like Motivation, Mantra, I Am, Moonly. Those are some of the ones that I personally prescribe to. Subscribe, I should say. And I fucking love them. But it's funny because somebody was like, is doing your own company really the right thing right now? I don't believe in coincidence. I believe everything happens for a reason. So when these messages are sent to me, when I'm looking for answers, it's literally a way for the universe, God, whatever you want to call it, to tell me what I need to hear. And funny enough, the first one was perfect abundance is my chosen reality. I will invest. The next one was I will invest in myself because I am worth it. This one really got me because I literally got it while I was talking to my partner. Entrepreneurship is the safest bet to security and wealth. And then this one happened like just an hour ago. I believe in my ability to unlock the way and set myself free. If that's not the universe literally telling me, hey, and I've been sharing all the things that have come with Sky's passing, like the onslaught of the number 22, the onslaught of, I don't know if I've talked about this already, but I've been seeing 1114 a lot. Good time to grab coffee. When I say 11:14, I'll see it in both, like the time. I see the time a lot, but then I'll also see 1114. And funny enough, it's no coincidence that one of my favorite movies is a movie literally called 11:14. And funny enough, it's no coincidence that my children are born in years 11 and years 14. So you can see why these numbers continue to kind of show up, and it's all good. You know, the one thing is you can't sit around, which I'm not. So, day one, first day back, it was difficult, but I made it through my meetings. I lost one, but that's because damn notifications weren't going off. So, here's one that I like though. And when I say that, I haven't read this one before. I just open it up at this one. It's 4 lines and it looks almost like poetry, and it's anonymous. I always love the anonymous ones. When things go wrong, as they sometimes will, when the road you're trudging seems all uphill, when care is pressing you down a bit, rest if you must, but don't you quit. That's really the key. It's honestly one of the keys to life, folks. And people always talk about, the key to life, the key to life. And everybody has a different one. To me, there's not one. You have a few different keys that apply at different moments in your life. When everything's going well, the last thing you think about is never quit, right? So it's not necessarily a key when everything's going well. That's what I mean by different keys for different moments. But one of the keys to life is to never give up, never surrender, always keep going. It doesn't matter if it's to your death. That is part of it. If you believe in something enough, then you don't give up. I know for a fact that over the next 5 years, there's going to be, this will probably still take the cake. And I pray, knock wood, this is the worst incident in the next 5 years, or really for the rest of my life, for that matter. I really hope that I don't outlive another child. And I can't think of anything worse. Even outliving my wife, although would be tough because she is younger than me, would not compare to my children. And she would say the same thing to me, and I'm older than her. So, losing me would suck. Losing me right now would suck. Let's put it that way. She's going to end up losing me at some point. Just reality. But it's how we deal with that. And that's the whole point. It's how we push forward. You can either let something like this, it is going to define you. That is without a mistake. Going through something like this absolutely defines you as a person, because you're either going to let it crush you or you're going to crush records because of it. Well, I truly believe that I will be the latter. I know I will be. I will have down times and I will have up times if I get enough cocaine. Being that my lucky number 7, it's funny, I just looked down at this one here. This is just a Japanese proverb. And did I say that first one, a setback is the opportunity to begin again more intelligently? That was Henry Ford. Okay. This is a Japanese proverb. Fall 7 times, stand up 8. That one's pretty easy. I like that. Oh, here, I got to look up when I say this based on this one. Here's one by Satchel Paige. I don't know if anybody knows who that person is. If you do, don't fucking bother telling me. I don't give a shit. What they said here is all I care about. Never let your head hang down. Never give up, and sit down and grieve. Find another way. And I will read just one more from the Never Give Up. You know what? There we go. So this is oh man, how do you pronounce that? Aesop? Is that right? AESOP? Aesop? Little by little does the trick. And little by little, I will get back to my regular self. Things will get back to the way. No, I shouldn't say that. They will not get back to the way they once were. It'll be a new normal, but something that is a new normal will come into play. It will happen. I will, as I always have, prevail until I die. When I die, it's my time. No biggie. I said it on the show the other day. It's funny because when I'm looking at it from a certain perspective, his death is a much more magical thing than y'all could imagine and understand, because the signs that I have received afterwards, they are not a coincidence. You can't make up all this shit. I mean, there's just too much there, and they keep coming, which was a deal we made. You know, that was a deal I made with the twins when they got old enough. The young ones aren't there yet. And who wants to throw death in their face? But the boys were, in their 20s, and it was time to talk about it. Quite frankly, it was around 21st birthday, I'm pretty sure, because I was really more concerned about something happening to me and them, having an understanding of what was going to happen. So we made the deal. Whoever goes first, send the other one messages. Funny enough, they had no problem making the deal about them dying. They had a problem in thinking about me dying, right? And I'm like, dude, I'm going to die. They're like, yeah, no, I don't want to talk about it. So, I used to find that really funny. Like, they just didn't even want to, particularly Skylar. The other one will talk about it. He will mention it. He doesn't like to discuss it, right? But he will talk about it, where Sky would just get adamant, like, I don't want to fucking talk about it. It's kind of funny. I now understand why. When I look back at the pictures of him, and I'm talking about the life, like his whole life, we've got this slideshow that we're building continuously. There is a look on his face that is there more than 85% of the time. And it's just, to me, it's a look that is like this subconscious look, like he knew, there was, and I believe that we do. Part of what I believe is that that's why everything happens for a reason. This has already happened, and then you get to choose which, life you're going to step into and gain that experience from a first person player, if you will, perspective, right? That's just the way I see it. That's what I've come to. And by no coincidence, one of the people that is only in my life now due to Sky's death, because this was the person that came and tried to save his life at the time, they believe exactly as I do. That's one of them right there. And then it's fucking mind-boggling. Blades of Glory. Sorry. That was one we loved. Whenever I can think of it now, I will try to give a salute to things. He and I were big fans, as the both of them. And actually, I'd say all the boys are pretty much big fans of Will Ferrell. And John Heder. They really loved Napoleon. Or is it Heder? I don't give a shit. Well, I have other things. Excuse me. All right, there we go. I have other things that I have to take care of tonight. I wasn't going to stay on very long. I probably would have been on a little bit longer, but I fucked up in the beginning. And so, hey, that just means I'll keep it short. That's what she said. Keep it short. Not referring to length, but how long he could be with her. Sorry, got to keep making jokes. To blaze or not to blaze? Oh, remind me on the next episode to tell you about another little coinky dink that happened. And it's funny because it makes me, every time I say to blaze and not to blaze, I think of it. So to blaze or not to blaze, there is no question. There is only to get high, to get by. Now for me to get closer to sky. I love all of y'all. I truly do. If you know me, then you know if I'm talking to you individually, I tell each and every one of you that. I also like to remind you how important you are. If everything happens for a reason, then every single person doing any little thing, it matters. It might be little, but it matters. It's not insignificant just because it's small. And we've seen that from everything in life. I mean, fuck, if you want to get kind of morbid, think about a virus. Virus you can't even fucking see. How significant are those motherfuckers, right? So have a blessed day. Stay lifted. Everything goes as it should, which I can't imagine why it wouldn't. I will be back on, today is Monday, so Wednesday, which is the 9th. And I'm watching, oh, what's the name of that fucking movie? There's a new movie with Sam Rockwell, and it's on HBO Max. So I'm gonna check that out. But Wednesday's show will be a flick dick investigation of that film. So I'm looking forward to seeing how good or how rotten it is. But aside from that, I will continue to have my ups and downs. Obviously, I'm not always going to share the downs with you because you don't need to hear that shit, right? That's not going to help you any if you hear me going, what the fuck is it? You don't need to hear that. You only need to hear the fact that I'm moving forward. I will always be moving forward. I continue to try to pay it forward, although right now I don't have any money. So if anybody wants to help, I'm not afraid to take your help right now. And I actually might do a fundraiser later on because things are getting pretty ugly, financially speaking, for the spirit. So I love all of you. Have a wonderful night. Have a lifted night. Stay blessed. I said that backwards. Have a wonderful night. Have a blessed night. Stay lifted. And I will see you on the next episode. Oh, we got somebody here. I missed this. Oh yeah, I do too. One of my favorites, man. My hair is starting to get more and more. It's a little. My wife even said it before I came on. She's like, "It's looking a little flat. You got to puff it up a little bit." So I tried to get it more Bob Rossi. I was thinking about maybe I could have a. So get this. This is funny. I was about to stop, but I just have to mention this. So it dawned on me last night. I'm dyslexic and I always fuck shit up. And I was like, Rob Boss. Wow, that's a fucking cool name, right? I went to go buy Rob Boss URL, which, there's tons that I can still get. But robboss.com was taken. I was like, fuck no. Get the fuck out. Went and looked at it. There's a fucking artist named Rob Boss. The exact spelling, ROBBOSS. I was like, are you kidding me? He is nothing. He's bald. Unless I'm remembering incorrectly, and my memory is he was either bald or balding severely, and his description was, let's just say, not Bob Ross like. It was a little dissimilar, to say the least. I mean, next to the fact that he was an artist, I didn't see a lot of comparison, which I thought was pretty hysterical in and of itself. So yeah, I know, right? I was like, are you fucking kidding me? This is insane. That like, I wanted to read. I truly thought that if I read, it was going to be a dude that was like, in tribute to Bob Ross, I'm going to be Rob Boss, which is what I was going to do. I was going to make up a fucking character, right? And be Rob Boss, who was like, the fucking evil, or what is it? Oh, the fucking world that Superman always goes to when it's different. Oh shit, I can't remember. Seinfeld even talks about it. It's the opposite world. It doesn't matter. Anyway, yeah, it's just some fucking dude named Rob Boss who happens to be an artist. I really want to look into it more. I have a feeling that guy either changed his name or something. I mean, like he has to know that he's Bob Ross with those letters switched, right? I mean, don't you know that? Wouldn't you have to know that? It would be really fucking hilarious to find out that guy never heard of him. I know that sounds crazy, but there's still people who have never heard of Bob, right? I thought he was in every single classroom growing up, but that is not the case. He was not. Should have been, but he wasn't. Oh, I missed another one. Here we go. Right? Anti-Bob. Yeah, exactly. Anti-Bob Ross. I like it. Hey, thanks for following me. I saw that you did that on Twitch. I appreciate that. I do not have a real big Twitch following. I think I'm gonna have to start playing more video games while I'm getting high. I'll stay here for a minute and tell me what you think about that idea. But I figured if I set it up to where I could do what I do when I game, and because Twitch is more gaming, maybe more people will tune in, and I could say the same shit that I'm saying while I'm killing fucking aliens. Maybe that's the ticket when it comes to Twitch it. Who the fuck knows? But thank you so much for the interruption. I do truly appreciate it because it gave me an opportunity to talk about Rob Boss, which I just thought was the coolest thing. Each and every one of you have a blessed night. Like I said, I'll say it one more time: to blaze or not to blaze. There is no question. There is only to get high, to get by. So I will see y'all again. We got one more. I'm going to read it. Oh, hell yeah, man. Reach out to me. If you want to email me, it's simply so420 at spirit of420.com. Here, I'll even write it down. Yeah, I'm fucking old. What are you going to do? SPIRIT. There you go. So you can email me there. And you can also, I simply put, all of them are at Spirit of 420, YouTube, Twitter, except for Twitch, which somebody actually had that. I couldn't believe it. So I'm the Spirit of 420 over on Twitch. But I would absolutely love to do that. And even just if not have you on the show, we can chit chat one time, or we can game and, do some shit. Just hit me up, man. I'm totally open to it. And I got to keep doing things. I got to keep doing more things. And I promise I won't cry, but just a little bit about my son. I say that because I am prone right now, just being completely transparent. I am prone to at times possibly lose it when something makes me think of him in the wrong way, where, just makes me sad. So what are you going to do? But he's looking out for me, and he's making sure that I don't do that very often, particularly on air. So thank you very much, son. That's him. What a fucking badass. Anyway, have a blessed evening. Stay lifted, all of you. I will be back Wednesday with an investigation of whatever the fuck that new movie is on HBO. I'll have the thumbnail up later, so you'll see it. No worries. Each of y'all have a great time until then. And when I say this, hopefully you'll start to really, truly know it, that I mean it. But I do love all of you. All of you are just as important as I am. No less, no more. Have a wonderful day, wonderful evening, and a beautiful tomorrow.
You can't have my phone number unless we running up the digits. Let me meditate, I just need a couple minutes. Tryna low bump me, my cojones to the big ass. Bitch, I get high.